If by Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on, if you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but are none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
How appropriate was that one to look back onto?
Definitely appropriate.
Can you hear me okay?
You're a little bit on the quiet side.
Am I? All right, hang on. I'm going to see if I can adjust my audio. I really don't want to hold my microphone. So just give me 1 second here.
No worries.
Huh?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. Can you guys hear us okay in chat? All right. Well, it looks like oh, here we go. I'm trying to figure out how I can update this my microphone. Oh, here we go. There it is. No.
Technical difficulties.
I know. Well, I guess I'll just hold it. There. Can you hear me better?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's look at the chat. Let's see. We've got In God We Trust. Good to see you, Natalie. And we've got Magnolia. Hey, Magnolia. Herbie, how are you, Herbie? Thanks for joining us. I'm so excited that you joined us. And we've got Carrie too. I almost missed. Who's Dark? Oh, Dork. That's Craig. That's right. Okay, Dork Bot. Anyway, yeah. So we wanted to talk about the conviction because since our last show, that's what happened. So, how are you tonight, Moxie? First,
I am wonderful. How are you?
Are you? I'm wonderful. I'm just peachy. Anyway, what are your initial thoughts, ideas? What have you been thinking about as far as your reaction to the conviction?
We're in trouble.
That's your first thought?
The justice system has failed.
Yeah, the justice system is a little bit crazy right now. You know, Trump said he was going to drain the swamp. And he made a statement after that he wasn't aware of how deep the swamp was. Do you think it's possible to drain the swamp?
Not without firing everybody and starting from scratch.
Oh yeah. Who? Oh, it was Ken Paxton. Do you remember when I posted about Ken Paxton? I know we're going to get into the trial and stuff, but this kind of fits in. So, Ken Paxton pretty much shared his whole story about how the whole impeachment against him came down. So they tried to impeach him as well, and it's it's really interesting because it ties into everything. And he basically was going to start an investigation against the FBI and DOJ. And because he was getting reports that there were shenanigans going on. And the reason he was going to investigate them is due to potential state law violations. Somebody had, I don't remember if this was the impetus, but there are a lot of stories. But one of the things was that the FBI would go in and raid someone and then go and get the subpoena later. And there were stories like that that were being reported to the AG's office. And he was going to begin an investigation. And actually, the FBI heard that this would happen before Ken Paxton even knew anything was going on. And
That's interesting.
it is interesting. And the way he knows that they knew before he did is his staff started being threatened by them. And his staff got scared, and the higher ups, the top law enforcement in the state said, we can't do this investigation because they're threatening pretty much retribution on all of the staff. Anyway, and then he ended up being recommended for impeachment, and all of that happened. I mean, I don't need to go through all the detail of that, but he pretty much laid out how that whole thing went down. It was all tied to his impeachment. Very similar. Anyone who wants to try to drain the swamp, as we were talking about at the beginning, gets the wrath of the DOJ, the FBI. And I just found that kind of interesting. So let's see. Mox calls me dork, so I ran with it. Oh my goodness. So Craig, I don't know. What made you start calling Craig a dork, Moxie?
He's just a dork. I think he made some sort of joke in your chat, and then I responded to it and called him a dork, and then he just went with it.
You just went with it. Anyway,
He embraced
yeah,
it.
we like your new name there, Craig, and he's got a dorky profile photo too that he decided to use. Anyway, that's funny. So let's get back to the Trump conviction. There's so much to be talked about here. I'm just pulling up my bookmarks, and I have to let you guys know that where is it? Oh, there it is. So I pulled some stuff together last minute because we just decided yesterday this is what we're covering. I think we thought, so we wanted to do, what were we going to do? The IRS? Or
No, reality TV.
Oh, reality TV. That is just such a huge dig that I don't know.
And so many more relevant things keep happening.
And there's a lot happening in the world. So, Yeah, I've got a few things to share. I've got some videos. First of all, the left is going out of their mind. They're so excited that Trump was convicted. They want to start using the term convicted felon, and we found out a couple of months ago that that was their goal. They wanted to be able to start calling him a convicted felon. So Biden already has done that. I don't need to pull up that. There's articles about Biden pulling the knife and calling the convicted felon. But okay, here's Whoopi Goldberg. She's just nuts. Here's Whoopi.
Do not adjust your TV set. Yes, I'm here on a Friday. Because this is a very unique moment in history. That's why we're all at the table. So I'm going to say something you've never, ever heard me say before, but Donald John Trump.
Don't tell me.
Is a convicted felon.
She ruined her moment there. Confected. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but okay, so she's all happy. They're all excited and happy about it. But I was watching Rachel Maddow, and she seems a little nervous.
She should.
Well, yeah, I want to see if you guys feel like she looks like she's a little nervous. This is kind of interesting. I was watching her. This isn't her show. She was just being interviewed, but let's watch it and see what you guys think.
Can I just say also that seeing those remarks from Trump live in the hallway, obviously the circumstances are now different. He's now the first ever American president, former president, to be convicted of crimes. He's now a different type of figure in history than he was half an hour ago. And yet he walks up to the camera and he just says all of the same stuff that he's been saying all of this time. It's all of the same stuff. He's like a chatty Cathy doll. You pull the string and the words come out and they're pre-programmed. His saying that it's rigged, he was saying it was rigged before the verdict ever came in. These are all the same lines that he's been using all before the jury was picked. The whole and he said that the 2020 election was rigged before he competed in the 2020 election. He said the 2016 election was rigged before he competed in that election. This is a thing that he says he's just the same person. Nothing about this is going to change him. But
so she's very annoyed that he's the same person, even though he's a much different person after this. I don't know. Did she seem nervous to you guys? Maybe it was just me. I was just getting that vibe from her.
She does seem really, really nervous.
A little too much energy there. She wasn't, because I thought she would be like Whoopi. But I thought she'd be giddy and smiling, and that's what I thought.
But if she didn't have Trump to talk about, would she have anything to talk about?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Carrie says it's turning more people to Trump, that even Reverend Franklin Graham is speaking out against Biden. Wow. That's kind of a big deal. So, yeah, they are. And not only that, all those small donations that were within 24 hours. He got, first the reports were, it's like the first hour, like he got so many millions of dollars. And then it was like 30 million. Then they were saying 50 million. Then I heard 76 million. And then Eric Trump gets on and says, well, I talked to my wife on the way out the door. It was like 70 million plus with big donors was over 200 million. So he's getting a ton of donations coming in ever since the verdict happened, which is incredible. I love it. I think Inspector said earlier, way to go, friends. Because Trump has a lot of money. He's a billionaire, you know? But having all of those small donations really makes a huge statement. Don't you think?
All the small contributions really add up.
They do. And it's not just even that. It's just the statement that it's making, like the support that he has. If we can't tell him, or every voice can't be out there so we know what that support is, it shows how much he's supported by the people, you know, rather than the corporations. So, Carrie, every one of our founding fathers who signed the Declaration of Independence were treasonous traitors, according to the government. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? And the left seems to be wanting to turn us into treasonous traitors. At least that narrative has started. She started that narrative. I don't know if you guys saw my post today on Telegram, but because she recently made a statement about, you know, civil war. And so I posted a side-by-side video of her from 2018, but she's using the rhetoric civil war, but she also did last month as well. So 1 month apart, she's talking about how she's afraid there's going to be civil war, riots in the streets, and that kind of thing. So she's said
afraid,
that,
or she's hoping for.
yeah, so right, they say they're afraid, but the reason is Trump's rhetoric, the words that he uses, the things that he says. So I did a contrast of what she was saying back in 2018, which we've all seen. So I'm not going to, I have the clip, but I'm not going to play the clip. But basically that everybody needs to rise up and go out in the streets. And if you see a Republican, you need to
Push back.
Push back. Yep.
Get in their face.
Get in their face. Yeah, she did say that. So she's pushing that narrative. And the interesting thing is there's a couple of things. They're either hopeful that there is a civil war, or they're going to instigate one so that they can blame it on conservative patriots, supporters of Trump.
Do you remember during the second impeachment trial when they played they were saying that, you know, you have to fight and all of that stuff. They're saying that Trump was saying you have to fight, and that's inciting violence. And then Trump came back and played that montage of them all saying you have to stand up and fight.
Yes. Yep. Like Chuck Schumer outside of the Supreme Court. Yeah, I should have had that clip ready. But
I didn't even think about it earlier.
Well, I didn't even know what we were going to talk about. We're just kind of hanging out tonight. We're not, we don't have a formal, you know, agenda for tonight.
I don't know. I look pretty formal tonight.
Oh,
Wearing my work clothes.
You look beautiful. Well, I'm a little informal, but I did wear this shirt to work. So. Oh my goodness. But yeah, should we listen to Trump's statement after the verdict?
Yes, please.
Are you worried about going to jail? This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. But the real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent. And I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end and we'll win. Because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Long from over. This, what do you think? Appeal? Will
Oh, yeah.
overturn it?
Oh,
think
yeah.
it'll I think
That's
it'll
gonna
get
go all the
overturned.
way to Supreme Court.
Do you think it will go all the way?
I think
Well,
so.
I guess isn't the current trial at the highest court in New York? So yeah, it would go to the next federal. It wouldn't be the SCOTUS. Yeah, I wonder how long that process is going to take. You are not allowed to appeal. I learned this through the J6 stuff and Deneen and other people, that you're not allowed to appeal until you've been sentenced. You would think they could start the appeal process immediately, but you can't until sentencing.
Yeah.
So, and that's going to be July 11th.
I just
And
happen to
that-
have a day off.
Oh, are you off that day?
I am that day and the next day.
What day of the? Oh, that's on a
30
Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday.
Yeah. So July 11th is sentencing, and the Republican National Convention is right after that. So, what if he's sentenced to prison? Does that
That's
mean
really
he can't go to the RNC and be sworn in, or not sworn in, but go through the official nomination process? I wonder what's going to happen. Do you think the judge will?
They picked that date.
Huh?
It's mighty convenient that they picked that date.
That is mighty convenient that they picked that date. And I saw other people posting like the RNC should purposely move their convention up to be earlier, just to make them mad. So what do you think? I wonder what would happen though in that case. What do you guys think?
The RNC more of a formality though, like going to accept your nomination?
It is, but you have to be officially nominated at the convention. So even though he got the votes and the majority of the votes, they still have to go and vote for him and make it official that he is the nominee.
They can do that without him there, right?
Huh?
They can do that without him there, right? I mean, if you think about it, Exotic Joe, what's his name? Tiger King. He was running for president from prison.
Oh. There you
There's
go.
no law against it.
Oh my goodness.
Why do I know this stuff? Why?
I don't know why we know this stuff. Oh, our pocket friend says Trump has an interview coming up with Dr. Phil, and that's going to be interesting. That will be. When is that, pocket friend? Make the RNC change it to July 4th. Wouldn't that be incredible? Wow, that would be incredible. I like that idea. Oh, Carrie had the same thought at the same time. Yeah, just do it a week earlier. That would be awesome. I would love to spend the 4th of July watching
The
that.
month from
instead.
today, you guys.
Huh?
The month from today.
Wow. Oh, July 4th is. Yes.
We're just 5 weeks away from the sentencing.
Oh, interesting. I'm hearing rumblings about Bird Brain waiting in the wings for some kind of shenanigans to get her nominated. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
She
That's
hasn't
what-
dropped out of the race officially yet.
Oh, really? So I wouldn't be surprised if there were shenanigans going on. I'm going to share my screen. There's oh, who did I get this meme from? I found this meme, and I want to give credit to somebody, but I don't know who to give credit to. So if this is what it would be like if Trump went to prison. Oh my goodness. I've got Elon Musk posted a meme too. Do I post? I'm not going to do his post. I'm just going to show the picture. I know it's not meme wars, but do you want to read it, Moxie?
Liberals wearing a Trump mugshot shirt. Conservatives also wearing a Trump mugshot shirt.
They're like, what the heck? What's going on? All right. So if you know what they're trying to do, they are trying, where is it? Yes. This is what they want. This is what they want. I got to make my screen bigger. Trump's Secret Service protection could be removed under the Benny Thompson proposed legislation. Now, Benny Thompson, Benny, he ran the January 6th committee. He was the head, he chaired that committee. And now he's proposing a bill so that the Secret Service could get removed from Trump if he goes to prison. And I don't think that's going to fly. I
There's no way.
don't think it's going to fly. So, yeah. But you know what? They are going to try that. They are going to try that. Let me see. What is this? Oh, that is not what I wanted. That is not what I wanted. I'm glad I'm not sharing my screen right now. All right. So some are saying that he needs to file an emergency petition to the Supreme Court in order to halt his sentencing. I think that would be a great idea. I do think they're doing shenanigans, that they want to be able to get him in prison. And this is totally election interference, but this is definitely what they want. That's what they want. And I don't know, you guys, the other day I posted about, where is that Alex Soros? Do you remember the Alex Soros, Elon? Oh, I've got it. All right. So Alex Soros posts, Trump guilty on all counts, and that Democrats should refer to Trump as a convicted felon at every opportunity. And Elon Musk replies, hi, Alex. Oh, my goodness. So then I posted this on Telegram. I don't post everything like on X and Truth Social. I try to remember to, but I am going to get better at that, you guys. I'm going to get better at it. But where is it? Oh, here it is. The Open Society. This is that NGO. The Soros NGO is Open Society Foundation, and Alex took over from his father. Anyway, this whole article goes over how we need to stop discriminating against criminals and hiring them.
Because that sounds like a great idea.
So what did Alex do, though? He discriminated against a criminal and said we need to call him a convicted felon. So Alex Soros, you got some splaining to do. You got some splaining to do. All right. Anyway, I think that's it for the articles because I'm not going to bore you guys, but I do have some video clips. let's see what else we got here. Oh, so Trump, when he was interviewed by, I think it was Fox News interviewed him, or I don't know, but he basically said that, you know how they're saying that when he takes office, that he's going to be a dictator on day one, and they're all screaming and crying saying he's promising to take revenge on all of his adversaries, and he's going to be coming after people, and that's not right, and blah blah blah. First of all, they're going after him. Like they're doing
It's exactly what they're doing.
Right.
But it's okay for them to do it.
Yes. So rules for thee, but not for me. Anyway, so Trump said, well, the whole revenge thing will be, well, actually, I'm just going to play it. Let you guys hear for yourself.
I don't care about the revenge thing. I know they usually use the word revenge. Will there be revenge? My revenge will be success.
My revenge. So, you know, the Dilly meme team, they are so talented. They put together, oh, it's not revenge, it's accountability. That's right. That is right. So the Dilly meme team did an awesome video meme on Trump saying revenge will be success.
A judge ruled former President Donald Trump committed fraud while building his real estate empire. The ruling came in a civil lawsuit brought by New York's Attorney General.
Crooked judge, crooked judge. He's a crooked judge.
My revenge will be success. My revenge will be success. My revenge will be success.
Unbreakable. That had a groovy little groove to it. I love the end where it says unbreakable. I love that statement that he said, revenge will be success. That is revenge. Him being successful, getting reelected, that is going to be major revenge. Let's see, what else do I got? Oh, yeah, Stephanopoulos literally told Trump's attorney that he's not going to let him say what he said. Like, I'm not going to let you say that. I'm not going to let you say that. You guys have to watch this. The left is crazy. How are we? Wait, I'm just going to play it and then I'll ask my question later.
Activities. And of course, the Attorney General in Manhattan has nothing to do with the Department of Justice. Finally, what do you expect from the sentencing process?
I vehemently disagree that the district attorney in New York was not politically motivated here, and I vehemently disagree that President Biden and his political allies aren't up to their necks in this prosecution. I think the fact
there's
that
no
the Biden
evidence of that, sir. There's no. I'm not going to let you continue to say that. There's just zero evidence of that.
Well, how about the
DA
fact
in
that
Manhattan
Matthew
is
Colangelo
elected.
was standing over Alvin Bragg's shoulder when he announced this verdict? I mean, Colangelo was the #3 official in the Biden Department of Justice who suddenly disappears and shows up as an assistant district attorney right as Trump's case in New York starts to proceed.
After
You want
the
to talk
decision
about
was
political
made,
you want to talk about political coordination?
This has nothing
George,
to do.
it's right
This
there
has
in front of
nothing
you.
to do. No, it's not. This has nothing to do with President Biden. Do you want to answer the question about the sentencing process or not?
I completely disagree that this has nothing to do with President Biden. With respect to sentencing, as I said before, we're going to vigorously challenge this case on appeal. I don't think President Trump is going to end up being subject to any sentence whatsoever, and we look forward to getting this case into the next court and taking this again all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court if necessary to vindicate President Trump's rights.
Thanks for your time this morning.
Appreciate it.
Did you see Stephanopoulos' body language in that? Are you going to answer? I'm not going to let you say that. Wow. You
Good luck with
cannot
that.
say anything bad about Biden at all. It's a little nutty. It's a little nutty. What's going on in chat and dorkiness and Craig and oh, in God We Trust said Trump's dancing is dorky. It's heartwarming. Yes, it is heartwarming. And yet Trump is, let me loop this. Yet Trump is the coolest guy around. Right? Although yeah, I've got these two. I've got Trump being cool, and I've got Kamala's laugh. But I need to put sound behind them because they're silent.
Her cackle. Her cackle.
But it's going to be sweet revenge when Trump gets back in and is elected in. I don't think they'll be able to. I know they're going to try, but I don't think they're going to be able to cheat this time. What are your thoughts on it? Huh?
They're going to try.
They're going to try. Do you think they'll be successful, though?
I don't think so.
I'll tell you why I think they won't be. Number one, well, I think there's a few reasons why I think they won't be. One is I think Trump and his team knew that this was going to happen for 2020. And you got to wonder if they would have been able to stop it. You know, we always say you can't tell them, you have to show them. And it's almost like all of this craziness had to happen in order for people to accept some of the actual justice that has to happen. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think, I don't know. I want to play a clip. I need to save this clip. And I want to play this one because I was watching. Do you guys follow the Kim Clement prophecies? Okay, so Kim Clement, he is no longer with us, rest his soul. But he did a lot of prophecies starting in the late 2000s all the way through the 2010s up until he passed away. And many of his prophecies, as we look back at them, seem to point to Trump. And some literally do point to Trump because he uses his name. But his daughter now runs his channel, and she does like a prophecy rewind where she'll play her father's prophecies, and I just find them super intriguing. And so many of his prophecies have been so spot on. And she was on her podcast the other day. I think it was Saturday. And I don't always watch her podcast, but I happened to see that she was having it. So I started watching. And something stood out to me, which was she had met Eric Trump back in 2022, she said. And I'm going to play this clip. It's interesting what Eric Trump told her. And I'm going to just check comments before I... oh, your thoughts on the imported illegal voters and how they stopped that. Yeah, I'm actually going to get to that. I'm going to play this clip really quick because I think this relates to what I'm about to talk about.
I felt what you guys felt because I could see the reaction was great. And this is what Eric Trump said to me when I met him is, I said to him, how are we going to deal with this? And he says, we're going to have to let them overplay their hand.
Yeah.
And so the Trumps, and this is Eric said to me in 2022 when I met him the first time. And that's really has happened. And so I feel like they have a better handle on it than we might think, and they might be able to.
She says, I think they may have a better handle on it than we might think. Back in 2022, Eric Trump told her, we're going to have to let them overplay their hand. Really interesting. What's really interesting before that is I feel like there's so much synchronicity many times of things that happen. I think it was just a day before that or 2 days before I saw her on her podcast. I was thinking about Eric Trump because Don Jr. was on talking about something. And I'm just like, he's very vocal. He's out there. I feel like he doesn't know what's like everything that's going on. But yet he's very based, obviously. Like he talks about how conspiracy theories come true within 6 months and all of that. But the thought that popped in my head when I saw Don Jr. is Eric. I'm like, Eric Trump isn't out there a lot. Like he's out there. He'll do interviews. He'll, but he's not as
outspoken as his brother.
He's not as outspoken as his brother. He's a little quieter. So it got me intrigued with Eric Trump, and I was actually going to start digging into Eric and how involved he's been. And I'm like thinking to myself, I bet he knows a lot, and that's why he's more quiet. Like maybe he knows more. Like what kind of work was he doing? Did he help his dad with his campaign, or was he more involved with any of that kind of stuff? And I know that Trump put him in charge of the business when he became president. So the very next day after I was thinking that, she shows Eric Trump. Plus I had seen a clip and posted a clip about Eric talking about the small donations and stuff like that. So I'm like, wow, it's like synchronicity. And you know what's funny about that is Pepe Lives Matter has been working on a article about the Nephilim, and Tucker Carlson just kind of mentioned about aliens, and I just posted that too, and I have to share that one. But Tucker had like hinted to that back in December. Mm-hmm. But he just was on a podcast talking about that. So like the same kind of synchronicity, I think, is happening with Pepe too. That's really fascinating. I can't wait to read his article. But anyway, I wanted to play Eric's overplaying of their hand because he was very let them overplay their hands. So I think one of the things is they may have let them take the 2020 election. I think they tried in 2016 and failed because it was squashed. I do think it's going to be tried again in 2020, and going to be squashed. And I think they know it. And that's why we see so much panic. But not only that, not only do I think they'll be able to squash some of that fraud, but I also think, even though I think Trump would have won by a landslide in 2020, I think he has even more support now. I think there's so much support for Trump that any type of cheating that they do could not possibly be successful if we all go out and vote, because I think it would overwhelm the people trying to offset that. You know what I mean? I don't think they'll be successful. What do you guys think? What do you think, Moxie?
Got a lot of people coming over to our side that recently had spoken out about being on the other side. There's a lot of people being more vocal about being out on our side.
Oh, people that were Democrats before?
Yeah.
Do you know people in your life personally?
Yes.
So do I.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear, you know, how many people are just like, you know, I voted Biden and I am regretting it. I'm going to vote Republican for the first time in my life.
Wow.
Like it's insane. The next door neighbor's daughter actually told me shortly before the Roe v. Wade was overturned that she had voted Trump in the last election because she knew that Biden was going to be really, really bad. And her dad still votes blue every time, but he's he feels obligated to because of his union. Yeah, it's interesting that, you know,
Why
children
would
of
people
Democrats
feel
are
obligated?
starting to-
Wait, why would people feel obligated because of a union?
I'm not sure. It doesn't make sense to me either, but that's the way she explained it to me. Is that because his union all supports Biden, then he supports Biden as well.
Yeah, because your union isn't going to know how you voted. Like, your vote is private.
Yeah.
So,
but if it's drilled into you.
Let's see. V1800 says, my lefty friend says that 2020 being rigged is a big lie. I'm betting they're also prepared to declare Trump 2024 win a big lie as well, since they have no shame. Yeah, so if he wins in 2024, they're going to claim it was rigged. You know, they did that in 2020. Hillary, how long did she say that was rigged?
What about the election in 2000?
Oh, that whole thing was so weird.
That was the start of all of this.
With the hanging chads. Honestly,
the Democrats have not accepted a loss since 2020. Since 2000.
What year was the first year we started having machines count the votes?
That's a really good question.
Because that Florida election, or that election in Florida, it was all about the hanging chads. So there was no like auto feed vote counting machine. There might have been some machine that had to be able to read the holes in the cards or something. I have no idea, but that whole thing was very close. Interesting. So yeah, I don't know. I really think Trump has a really good shot. I think I'm hopeful, of course. And so I think part of that's biased. But just based off of the energy that you see, you know, even in 2020, he had these huge crowds. Biden, you know, had these circles that people could sit in. He didn't get any crowds. So that's happening again this time. they showed the gymnasium that he was in and tried to make it look like it was a huge crowd by using a wide lens or a deep lens, or I don't know how that works. But yeah, and Trump always has tens of thousands of people. So, what are you doing, Moxie? Are you
Looking
texting?
to see.
Oh, are you looking something up? Are you doing some live digging?
I am. I'm doing some live digging. So
live
they
digging?
started punch cards for voting back in the 1880s.
Yep.
Then in, let's see,
The first like the voting machines we have today. I think they really, after that 2020 election, started getting. I have a feeling it was after that. All right.
Punch card voting machines remained the most common voting method until they received considerable criticism after the 2000 presidential election and Florida's hanging chads.
That was an excuse to be able to push forward computerized voting machines. Yep. Although I do think election rigging has probably been going on for quite a while, the selected versus elected. We got some major house cleaning to do. Do we think Trump can get that done in 4 years?
Maybe. But I think a lot of things are going to be shut down and non-functional if he has to do it by tearing it all down to bare minimum.
That's why I brought up Ken Paxton. I kind of forgot where my thought was going there. So part of what he said is what needs to happen is these agencies need to be completely dismantled and started over from scratch, because otherwise it would take way too long. It needs to be swift, is what he said.
It does.
And yeah. So what do you guys think about Ken Paxton for AG? I know Texans won't want that because they love him as...
They need him.
Well, I feel like they do need him, but I feel like based on what happened to him, the country, I think, needs him more, because they almost successfully got him impeached and went after him when he was going to investigate the FBI and DOJ, and that got shot down. So my question is, if they are that powerful that they can do that to state AGs, then we need someone like him at the top level to stop this. You know? I don't know. Yeah, Trump is saying we should do mail-in voting, ballot harvesting, early voting, and day of, all of it, since the Dems will. You know, the Democrats actually, Carrie, predicted that we would go and vote in person. So they knew that most of the mail-in votes they could claim were going to be mostly Democrat. So they actually used it in their narrative. So I agree, even though I'm against mail-in voting. Ballot harvesting is illegal in most places, so I don't necessarily agree with that. But yeah, we just need paper ballots and one-day voting. That's what we need. In God We Trust says Paxton isn't safe in Texas. We can absolutely use him federal. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And he's all for dismantling these intelligence agencies. And the DOJ can do the investigations that they need to do. But if you think about it, even other countries know how the deep state works. They know that the president is mostly a ceremonial role, although I think Trump got a lot done when he was president. But the president can't do everything, right? And the CIA does all these things in secret, so they're the ones with the actual power. They've overturned leaders in countries. They did color revolutions. They completely changed the landscape of our entire world. And they're not supposed to be doing any domestic stuff, but they are in secret, of course. Think about the MK Ultra, all of their little programs where they've brainwashed people, they've infiltrated the media, the Mockingbird. Like they are more powerful than any one branch of government. And they're unelected. They need to be dismantled completely. Even Putin, in his interview, he said that. He said presidents come and go, but it's those people with those lifelong careers in government, you know. I don't know. I like that idea, though. I think that might cause some chaos if we just dismantled really quick and tried to start from scratch. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. But
are you
it's
for it
funny,
or
dude.
against it?
I'm for it.
Even though there'd
I
be
like
chaos?
chaos, though.
Huh?
I like chaos, though.
You like the chaos. Should we say bring on the chaos? Bring
Absolutely.
it on. Bring on the chaos. Oh my goodness. Let's see, what else did I have? Oh, Frank Luntz. Do I play this clip or don't I? Oh, it's only 20 seconds. Maybe I'll play it.
Do it.
Okay. Yeah, you know how Maxine is all worried about riots in the streets because of Trump and his rhetoric. Frank Luntz wants us to know that his focus groups have the same concern.
If he's given jail time, he becomes a martyr. And if he's given jail time, what our focus group respondents said is they're afraid that there'll be protests, riots in the street, that there is real concern that the results of this case could bring a level of violence that we haven't seen ever in American democracy. If he's given jail time, he becomes...
Whoops, it was on.
You mean like the level of the riots in 2020?
Do you believe his focus group really said that?
It depends on who was in his focus group.
A bunch of politicians. That's true. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay. So here's the other thing. So in God We Trust, that is Trump needs to surround himself with like-minded, loyal folks. He was burned a bit the first time. But as the saying goes, fool me once. So Trump actually has brought this up. He said, you know, I didn't know back when I started my first term. He didn't realize that people wouldn't be loyal or that they infiltrated him. And he says he knows everybody now, but does he like that? I'm worried about that part. I'm worried about that part because like he's talked about his willingness to bring people into his administration that we know are neocons, you know, like after Nikki Haley said she's dropping out of the race, and he's like, oh yeah, she probably has a place somewhere in my administration. It's like, really? She's a warmonger. Like she should have no place in his administration.
I mean, place in his administration. I mean, he could like put her in the back corner, like, you know, put her, you know, down a few levels, take away her stapler.
A lot of Trump's attacks on people are definitely what Just Human would call like kayfabe, where he is putting on a show and pointing out their faults so for a purpose. But he is very quick to be able to do a roundabout and be like, well, yeah, but the, you know, but I forgive him for that. And, you know, like I saw that even like when he had the Apprentice show. Oh, wait till we do reality TV. We should include Trump's.
Absolutely.
We should include Trump's. But I noticed that on his show, The Apprentice, he did the same thing. You know, I feel like he acts like he judges people harshly, but he actually doesn't judge people. He doesn't hold any grudges, and I feel like he needs to, because people are going to be constantly trying to infiltrate.
He wants to see the best in people.
And they're trying to infiltrate everywhere, not just Trump and his inner circle, and hopefully his like, not hopefully. I didn't mean to say that. But his future administration, you know, like, but they do it to us too. So they're in the movement as well. You know, if there's any big influencer, somebody's going to try to infiltrate and get close to them or befriend them, or come out of nowhere and, you know, try to sound a lot like anybody who's been around for years. And yet they're doing that to build up trust. I mean, look at Lynn Wood. Look at Lynn Wood, you know? So it's hard. It's really hard to see who you can trust and who you can't. So that's my biggest worry with Trump. All right. The left uses our tendency to assume good faith against us. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Yeah, Amoroso, it was a perfect example. Yep. So just seeing what else was in chat here. Oh, worried about it, especially for his VP pick. So definitely, I think one of the things is he can't, when he picks a VP, it can't be like picking Pence last time. It can't be somebody that appeases the voters or appeases the rhinos or appeases the establishment. It has to be someone who can continue his agenda, the America First agenda, someone with brass balls that will continue the fight, because Trump only has 4 years and we need somebody that is as tough as him that will continue that fight. Who do you think he's going to pick for VP?
No idea.
Who do you want him to pick for VP?
It's a really good question. I don't really have an opinion on it. And, you know, I always have an opinion. But I really don't have an opinion. I know it won't be RFK. That's for sure. I mean, I honestly don't know. JD Vance seems like a good option.
Yeah, you like JD?
I do.
I like him too. I don't know if he's been around long enough for us to see, but he needs to be somewhere. I know I'm still digging potentially. I have to see more, but I'm still kind of digging Elise. I don't know, like some people have talked about Ben Carson. I love Ben Carson, but does he have brass balls? You know? I don't know. Maybe he's tougher than we would even realize, you know, quiet but strong type. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Who do you want to be VP? I want to see who do you think will be? We'll find out in a month. So yeah, I'd like to try to guess though. I also want to try to guess whether they're going to put Trump in jail and what would happen with the Secret Service and all that. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is a good way to, I think, he'll have a big posse in prison. We'll have lots of memes. We'll have lots of memes and video tributes with him in an orange jumpsuit. Orange man bad. All right, guys. I did want to talk about Fauci, but I think we're over an hour. I didn't know that I was blathering that long. Any other closing thoughts or things you wanted to highlight?
I was also going to talk about Fauci, but I think that could be its own show next week.
Oh, yeah, actually, it could potentially. It was pretty incredible. They really exposed a lot, and he lied on the stand. I mean, just flat out lied. Jesus, guy, when's he gonna go away anyway? When's he go? We need accountability with this dude. And the fact that his staff are purposely avoiding FOIA. What's up with that? That's
They're
illegal.
getting away with it.
And you know what? Fauci said that was just an edge case, like just a rogue employee. Well, really, the way that guy talked in the email is like, don't worry, like I took care of it, so it can't be FOIA'd. So there was like other people in that email. These are high up people. So for him to claim that it was just a rogue employee is BS.
It is.
Oh, I need that Trump. I need that Trump clip, the BS clip.
It was all bullshit.
Yes, but all right. So come election day, whether Trump goes to jail or not, this is what it's going to be. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Are you guys ready for it?
Bring it on.
Bring it. All right. Well, I hope, Moxie, you have a wonderful evening. Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining. I hope you give a thumbs up to the video so it can get, like, more views out there. It can go out to more people. Will see it on Rumble or on YouTube if you're on YouTube. And then if you could subscribe to, if you're not subscribed to our channel, it's just QWP, rumble.com/QWP. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. What were you going to say at the very end, Moxie?
Have a great evening and keep asking those questions worth pondering.
Please keep asking those questions. All right. Have a good night.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all